House of Ramirez has partnered up with East Atlanta Business Association members to raise money for East Atlanta Kids Club. This is marketing with a cause for the children. Hey guys, this is House of Ramirez, and I'm so excited to be on here today and just letting y'all know what's up. Y'all already know we out here in the hot streets of Atlanta representing, and today I have Dani Weiss with me, and I just want to tell everybody what she has going on in the city of Atlanta, in the part of East Atlanta to be exact. So without wasting any more time, Dani Weiss, can you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dani Weiss of Dani Weiss Photography. And I specialize in photographing people and events. And I moved to Atlanta about 3 years ago from Seattle.
That's super amazing. That's super amazing. That is somewhere I have to go. Seattle is like a destination that everybody wants to go to and see the coast, and it's just really nice. And we're glad to have you here in Atlanta. You know, I am a big fan of your work, but I just want to give you your props. You're an amazing person, an outstanding pillar of the community, and you got things going on, sis. So I want to go ahead and let everybody know you are the owner of Dani Weiss Photography, correct?
I am. Thanks.
Nice. Can you please tell us more about what you do? And I know you're an entrepreneur, so that's not the only thing that you do. Can you tell us?
Sure. I've been actually doing photography since the 80s, well before digital came into play. And my specialty is really on people, events, and pets. I've probably done well over 1,000 weddings and events in my career. I especially love working with people and their pets because you never know what's going to happen. One of the things that I really love is just, developing relationships with people. And I've done so many families throughout the years, and watching everybody grow up is it's just wonderful and moving. And I feel very fortunate to be able to sort of document people's family histories, which I think are getting lost a lot because of digital. I think people don't want to print anything. And I think people don't often back their work up, which is incredible. You have to do it. It's not that hard. You just set it in the cloud and let it go. But I feel really fortunate to have done this career for such a long time. And moving to Atlanta was a big step for me to move out of a community that I was already a part of for 30 years. And doing so much work in that community also led me to move to this community, and East Atlanta feels just like where I was in Seattle. And so it's been a great transition. Unfortunately, with COVID, it kind of put a little damper on, growing my business, but it has allowed me to get to know people locally as I was doing a lot of porch portrait mini sessions and just kind of doing things that would work within the COVID guidelines. A lot of events were canceled. And so that was a great pivot and trying to get to meet people otherwise. So, yeah.
And that's amazing, Dani. And I do understand and feel you when you say that COVID has impacted us in one way or another. That's a conversation that I continue to have with entrepreneurs. We have to adapt to change. And you, my friend, are a great person that you're able to abide by those guidelines and still give us what we need in the community. And you're very loved. You're very appreciated. Your hard work stands out. Also, you're family now. You ain't going nowhere. You might want to visit Seattle, but you're an Atlanta girl now.
Except for the summers, which I'm still having to get used to. It's pretty tough. It's very hot here.
I bet, yeah. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, photography is not the only thing that you excel in. So if you don't mind telling us about your jewelry, it's amazing.
Oh, thanks. Well, when I moved to Atlanta, one of the things that I really wanted to do was learn how to make jewelry. And so I started taking classes first in Decatur, but the place closed. And then I moved to Callenwald. And so I've been taking jewelry making classes for the last 2 years. And, it's a totally new art for me. I did pottery for 25 years, doing hand building and clay. And so it was an interesting pivot. And I've also welded on a large scale, but it's really hard on your body. And my body is already beat to hell from my career. And so I wanted to try something else on a smaller scale. And it's really very hard. It's also has a huge learning curve, but I've been trying to learn and go in as much as I can to practice. And I've been producing more work recently because I've been trying to go in during open studios. And, I've learned the hard way. I've ruined a few things recently and very sad. But I am enjoying it because it's just, I never realized how hard it was to make a piece of jewelry. And I don't think people appreciate it. It is also very hard on your hands, but my welding skills do come in handy because it is mini welding. So it's soldering, but you are still using gas to do it. And you have to really learn how to do it correctly. So yeah, so that's been really fun. I've been able to do that. And, it's been helpful during COVID too. They were closed for a long time and they reopened up. And so it allowed us to go in safely and work on that and our projects, so yeah. So that's my other thing. I'm a multi level artist in a few different ways, but mostly been doing the jewelry and the photography. So yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate it too. It's not just bringing a piece of your art into our home, but it's also sharing and supporting your business. So it goes a long way, and we're very big on community in East Atlanta. Throughout the city, we are a big family here in Atlanta, but particularly our area, East Atlanta Village, we are a huge family. So, I want to thank you for that, for just dedicating yourself 2 years ago to doing something new, even though you already had experience in welding. And this is in a form and a shape, still, like you said, mini welding. You dedicated 2 years ago your time to learn something new so you could bring us new product. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks.
Most def. And I want to go ahead and ask you, can you please tell us, at what point did you realize that you wanted to become what you are today, a successful entrepreneur? It's not easy. As an entrepreneur myself, we hit highs and lows, and sometimes we don't know how to navigate. We learn as we go. So you have to be dedicated for this. You got to believe in yourself. At what point did you decide to take that leap of faith and believe in yourself?
Well, I've always wanted to work for myself. I started out in newspapers, so I did newspaper photography for a good 7 years. I also worked on the side doing events because news never paid anything. And boy, now it's really sad to see what's happened in the news industry and with local newspapers closing. But I always did portraits and people and events on the side. And so it just was sort of a natural fit to transition into doing the work for myself. And I've always been very self-driven and motivated. And, I've worked really hard at it, and I try to do a great job for my clients. And I think, word of mouth is always the best referral. It's important to me at the end of the day to do a great job for people that I work for, and I see the results of it. And, the referrals sort of come naturally. I mean, it's also been a lot of social media work and promoting myself too, and getting, other community members to talk about you. And you know how it goes. I mean, you just work really hard to make it happen. So, and there are days I do go to the pool every morning, and that's really important to my energy every day, and making sure I feel good and, get out and move. And, it is a very physical job that's taken a big toll on me personally, just from doing weddings for so long and, running around. So yeah, it's really, it's a great career. You just have to know how to work it. So, and be dedicated to it, of anything.
I agree with you. And, it kind of hit home when you said self-driven at a young age. Sometimes you just know you are a go-getter naturally. You are a leader naturally, and just believing in yourself at a young age just builds that momentum that you need in the future, like now, today.
Sure.
So I want to thank you for that, because you stuck by believing in yourself. A lot of people let go once it gets hard and they're like, oh, this is not for me. I'm just going to go ahead and apply somewhere. No, you got to stick it out. And that's how you learn. That's how you grow. And I definitely feel you when you say you're at a wedding or you're at an event and it takes a toll on you sometimes. Sometimes I get home, my calf muscles, my back, and I'm like,
Right.
yo, but
Wait till you're middle-aged like me. Then you're really in trouble. Yeah.
Hey, we're sisters. We're both young. So,
Yeah. Carrying all that camera gear is kind of brutal. It's actually so much heavier than it used to be back when I first started, just due to the fact that there's really a computer chip in your camera. And so it's created a lot more, weight on the camera body itself and the lenses. The glass is really heavy. So, yep.
Yep. So it's true dedication that you have passion for the work that you do.
I love it. Yeah.
And we can tell.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. So now that we have, we took a dive into what motivates you, you're just a self-made leader. So now I would like to know what drives you in your career path. There's always something that motivates us, whether it's our children or family, or it's just something that we're really eager to share with others and we're really good at. There's always a point where we're like, I need to keep pushing. And what drives you, Dani?
I think just being in a new community has been a good kick in the butt to kind of keep going and move forward. It was very hard financially in Seattle. The cost of living literally doubled in the 30 years that I was there, and it's probably double what it is in Atlanta. So, that's very hard to kind of overcome, even though I was making a good living. When everything just keeps going up and up, it's just been hard. So, obviously you want to do a great job for people, and financially you want to excel, and, and at some point, I'll have to retire somehow. And I think that, moving forward, I've mentored a lot of people in my career, and, have always been an open book for information from people reaching out to me for photography insight, and tagging along with me and learning. I did it quite a bit at a university in Seattle. I haven't reached out to the schools here yet. Obviously, I was new here and a transition. I think people don't realize how much work goes into just the back end of it. They think it's all glamorous and really easy, but then you have to work on all the photos after you take them. So not that they're not great when they first come out, but you do have to make sure that they're consistent. And making sure that the product is good. And, anyway, just always, I don't know. I just want to do a good job for people, and you got to go to sleep at night knowing that you did the best that you can.
Yes. And that's very hard to find nowadays. That's how it was back in the day. And nowadays everyone wants everything so easy and fast.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't see all the hard work that we put in. Specifically when it comes to photography, you put in a lot of extra work, not just the effort, physical effort, and the work of the lens to know what shot to take, where the light is aiming, who to get in the picture in the event, but also after the event. So a lot of people nowadays, they just want easy in and out. And, something that could be a driving motivation for you, like you were mentioning, is just wanting to do right by our neighbors. And, that's something that you can always take to the bank. That's something we could always refer to. We could always, talk about. Good work doesn't have a bad reputation. Good work goes a long way.
Right.
So it's tied to your name. And I want to commend you for that. A lot of people don't take the time to be honest and upfront with people. And then mentoring too, it takes a lot of patience with just giving the knowledge to individuals that you have gained effort, you have gained time to know, so it's very loving of you.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's important to, I never had kids myself, but I think it's important to educate kids that are interested in the career. I think it's a really brutal career to go into now. It used to be a very different market. And there's just so much competition in the industry and such mediocrity too. So that's, unfortunate, but you can really tell, I think, who does a good job and who doesn't. I think a lot of people send their work out to be worked on in the end, and they don't take the time to actually learn how to do it, which is really unfortunate. And I think, you can really tell based on your interaction with people and how they, respond to the work that you do. So, yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So, yeah, you're an outstanding artist. I just want to go ahead and
Thanks.
put that out there. So, as an outstanding artist and successful entrepreneur, Dani, what great pieces of advice would you give to our up and coming entrepreneurs? Like you said, some people might want to dabble into photography. As you said, it's a different animal now,
Right.
but other people might want to endeavor into other things, and that's okay. But what pieces of advice do you have as a wise, successful entrepreneur?
Well, I think it's important to trust your gut and move with your heart, and make sure that you do the things that you personally respond to. I think for me as a photographer, I've always had it in me, and I did it in high school and went to college for it, and got a couple of degrees in photography and mentored. I studied personally with a bunch of other people when I was a kid, and I just think that it's important to do what feels right for you. It's hard. It's definitely a lot harder. And I think social media has made it even more challenging to stand out and be consistently having to share your work and post is sort of exhausting. It's also very expensive to keep your name in front of people too, when you're working with, SEO and branding and that sort of thing, and making sure you do it. My advice to people is to just, move forward with whatever feels right and work hard at it. If you can't work hard at it, don't even bother, because you're never going to get there in anything, in any career. Nobody got there by getting it all handed to them. You have to learn in some way. And if you can't make it happen, then you'll know, and it's pretty clear when you can't be successful in something, you'll know right away. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you put in that hard work and good work comes out of it. Good results come out of it. Great relationships are built, and you keep it that way, and you keep duplicating that. And yes, it's a lot of work. But if people aren't good at something, that's your clue. You should take that sign from the universe and move on to the next thing. Once you're able to push through every barrier and know that that's something that you want to do, regardless of the good and bad, that is your thing to work and focus on. So I agree with you. It takes time.
Yep. Everything does. Nothing comes easy.
Right. Right.
Want to have it all handed to you, which is no fun either.
It's not at all. Because then you don't value the experiences or the product or the service.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed. So I want to ask you, now that we have picked your brain as to a successful entrepreneur in the business realm, now I want to pick your brain as sister to sister, human to human. What do you think this world needs to be a better place? A lot of people say compassion or love or more money or more opportunities, even though I believe we build our own opportunities. But a lot of people have different opinions to this question because they walk life differently, and that's okay. But what do you think this world needs to be a better place?
Personally, I think Georgia needs to recycle. That would be great. I'm just astounded, having been on the West Coast for so long, how much garbage is everywhere and how much plastic and styrofoam is used. So that's my first comment about Georgia, because my mouth is always open when I drive around and see all the plastic everywhere and garbage all over on the side of the freeways and that sort of thing. That being said, it is very beautiful here too, but Georgia needs to get a handle on the plastic and on the styrofoam, because it's making me crazy. As far as everything else goes, I really think it is compassion. And I think that everybody's got to be doing their part to be a good person and be positive and have good karma, and spreading love and good energy is always great. I mean, I am also really what comes around goes around. And for me, it's important to do good and do great things and work hard, and it comes back. And so, I think that if we all gave a little more, we would all be in a better place. So yeah, that is what
yeah, and I respect that and I support it actually. Compassion is something that we lack more and more every day. And it's unique, it's beautiful. And we need to spread it more. We need to use it more. We need to teach it more. Our up and coming, youth, they don't know they don't know much. We have to teach them. So it starts with us. If we want to change the future, we have to start with us. Like you said, good karma. We have to think different and better, feel different and better, and teach others and show others with actions. So I completely understand and support that. And as to the recycling part, I think we do our part in East Atlanta. So I want to go ahead and shout out East Atlanta. But yeah, I'm with you. We all got to do our part when it comes to recycling all around the world, even the city of Atlanta and, Georgia as a whole. But yeah, I'm with you on that. So I want to go ahead and ask you, you know how I get down. I always do a House of Ramirez shout out. So I am very big on paying homage and just shouting out people that have held us down or held us down throughout our journey. We have ups and downs, and there's always mentors or people that love us, that support us or help us grow, and they hold us down. And this is your opportunity. I'm giving you my platform so you could go ahead and put the spotlight on them who have been holding you down. So who is your House of Ramirez shout out?
I really have to thank my family and my friends for being so supportive of my business. I've been really thankful for East Atlanta Business Association. I've been a member there. I've been a member of the Out Georgia Business Alliance. I joined them when I moved here to work with the LGBTQ community, because I've done so many same-sex weddings in my career. I've also worked really hard in my neighborhood of Eastlake and, promoting myself on Facebook in the Eastlake and Oakhurst and Kirkwood neighborhoods. All the families there have been really supportive in Decatur area, Atlanta, Decatur, East Atlanta. So it's been really a great fit and feels really good to me. So yeah. And thanks so much for having me on this too. That was really wonderful.
Yes, most def, Dani. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. And shout out to all the communities that you're part of that support you. You do a lot of great work for everyone, and we just appreciate it. You're a very good hard worker, and you're genuine about, working with others.
Yeah, thanks.
We want to thank you. Cool. So can you please give us your social media handle so we could go ahead, put the links below, follow and support your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I can be found on Instagram at Dani Weiss Photo, and Weiss, well, I'll spell it all out. DANIWEISS as in Sam Photo. That is also my Twitter handle. My Facebook is Dani Weiss Photography, and my website is Dani Weiss Photography. And you can see my personal work on Dani Aaron Weiss if you want to see some of the jewelry that I've been making and my cute dog.
I love that. I love that. Yes, we love your puppy and we love your art too when it comes to jewelry. We most definitely will follow you and support you. Thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to coming on my show. It's the first time, but it's not the last time. And
awesome.
Thank you, Dani. Yes.
Thanks so much. That was really fun to talk to you.
Make sure to follow House of Ramirez on all social media platforms.